Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a world that honestly sounds like it's straight out of a blockbuster thriller, but it's completely real. We're talking about the terrifying, high-stakes business of building fake lives for the global elite. We're going to explore the incredibly complex mechanics behind total identity erasure and look closely at the invisible people who pull the strings behind the scenes. So, picture this. Put yourself in the shoes of someone whose former business associates, and let's be real, enemies, believe they just perished in a fiery car crash at the bottom of a steep ravine. As far as the world is concerned, the police report is filed, the wreckage is burned beyond recognition, and your story has come to a violent, definitive end. The people who wanted you gone, they're satisfied. Congratulations, you just died. Except, you totally didn't. Because instead of being at the bottom of that ravine, you're actually sitting in a quiet, beautiful little cafe in Zurich. You've got a brand new face, you're carrying a pristine Auckland passport that says you're just a retired software consultant, and here is the kicker. You've got an untraceable trust fund sitting on exactly $40 million. For the very first time in a decade, you can literally just take a deep breath and relax.
Let's move into section 1, faking your own death.
Okay, so you finally have room to breathe as this mild-mannered, retired consultant. But then, as you're sitting in that Zurich cafe and you happen to catch your reflection in the window, you realize you don't even recognize the person staring back at you. And then a really chilling thought creeps in. Did the person who built this new you leave a back door open? It suddenly hits you that trusting someone to completely erase your old existence means you had to hand them absolute unchecked control over your new one. So, who exactly holds that kind of terrifying power? That brings us to section 2, the reality magician. Let's completely flip the perspective for a second and look at the people building these ghost lives. We call them the identity architects. Now, this isn't just some guy sitting in a basement printing fake IDs. This is a magician of reality. Imagine you're a brilliant coder. It's a rainy Tuesday and you're deeply bored. You realize that building legitimate apps is just a painfully slow path to nowhere. But then you have this massive realization. Human identity in the modern digital world, it's literally just ones and zeros. And if you understand how to manipulate those ones and zeros, you can create immense value right out of thin air. And it's wild to see how quickly this escalates from a simple digital favor into godlike power. You start small, right? Maybe you help a mid-level corporate exec scrub a bad news cycle off the internet. Then you figure out how to make a couple of frivolous lawsuits just magically disappear from the public record. And suddenly, you are the most powerful person in every room you walk into because you make big problems vanish. From there, it inevitably escalates to architecting a full ghost life. You're not just deleting bad data anymore. You're playing God, creating entirely new human histories from scratch. But how do they actually do it? Let's dig into section 3, mechanics of a ghost. To build a plausible new identity, one with a rock-solid 10-year digital footprint, requires what our source absolutely perfectly describes as accounting gymnastics. It's a 3-step dance. First, you set up a whole bunch of empty box LLCs in corporate havens like Wyoming and Delaware. Second, you make the money dance, rapidly zipping those funds across the globe over to Cyprus. And third, you funnel it all down to Panama. By doing this, you make the financial trail an absolute ghost. It becomes totally invisible to the feds, the regulators, everyone. You hand your client a flawless, unquestionable history. But what does orchestrating all this do to the mind of the architect? That leads us to section 4, the paranoia simulation. As you evolve into this godlike architect, your own day-to-day existence rapidly devolves into a 24/7 simulation of pure paranoia. Your reality literally splits in two. On the digital masking side, you're constantly managing a network of runners and bouncing Tor signals through France, Brazil, and Japan just to keep your own operations completely invisible. But then there's the physical security side. You have to know which glass-walled private clinics will do rapid facial reconstructions, no questions asked. You need bribed police associates ready to file death certificates on demand. And you constantly sleep with a go bag under your bed packed with 6 different passports because you have to be ready to run at a moment's notice. And why the go bag? Why all the bouncing signals? Because in this specific business, knowledge is the ultimate liability. Think about it. You are the one person who knows exactly where every single digital body is buried. And just by holding on to all those secrets, you've inadvertently painted a massive, glowing target right on your own back. This brings us to our final and honestly most revealing segment. Section 5, the golden cage. The tragic irony of this lifestyle is the absolute terrifying isolation that comes with this level of extreme power. The illusion of power is so seductive, right? You're living in a glass-walled penthouse. You're wearing a watch that literally costs more than a house. You're controlling millions. But look at the actual reality of the job. You have zero real friends. None. Because a friend is just a weakness that a rival or the DEA can exploit to get to you. You are on your hands and knees checking your car for trackers every single morning. You can never, ever sit with your back to the door in a restaurant. All that extreme wealth, it means absolutely nothing when you live like that. And here is the absolute harshest truth of all. You are the loose end. A very, very expensive loose end. While you were building these perfect, untraceable, completely secure lives for criminals and the elite, you completely erased your own identity and your own safety. You gave everyone else a perfect way out, but you trapped yourself. It's a crushing realization. As this quote lays out so perfectly, you suddenly realize you're just a number, being moved to a different column. You're just waiting for the moment you become a rounding error that needs to be deleted. You aren't playing the game anymore. You are being played. You have zero free will left. You are just a prisoner in a golden cage that you built yourself, waiting for someone else to update their spreadsheet and erase you. The psychological toll this takes is absolute. It leaves you wide awake in the dead of night. You find yourself just standing in your own empty 60-seat home theater at 3 a.m., surrounded by the absolute finest things money can buy, but you are entirely alone. You've experienced a complete loss of personal freedom. And most devastatingly, there's the realization that family doesn't get to retire in this world. The danger you've courted, it's going to follow your bloodline forever. There is simply no exit strategy. Which brings us to the end of our deep dive into these architects of reality. I want you to think really carefully about the heavy, heavy cost of the ghost life. If you had to disappear tomorrow, what's the one thing you'd actually try to smuggle into your next life? In a world where every single human connection is a lethal liability, ask yourself what piece of your humanity you just couldn't bear to leave behind. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking the hard questions, and I'll see you next time.